Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Mythic bringing you guys another video, and we got Mike, the AZ sports fan, tapping in with us as well. And we are going to be talking about something that I have seen a lot of Cardinals fans on the fence about, and that is Kyler Murray. How are you feeling about Kyler Murray overall? We're going to dive right into this thing. From what you've seen in this 4-game sample size, are you off the bandwagon? Are you still on the bandwagon? Are you concerned? What are the overall thoughts? And then I'll piggyback off of what you say, and I'll give you
Y
my thoughts as well.
yeah, it's so tough, right? It's so tough to when you evaluate the quarterback of obviously our Arizona Cardinals because you've seen good flashes of him. Like, you've seen remembrance of what he looked like when he was in MVP, talks. So, it's unfortunate that we're here as a team, but just evaluating him as a player, I don't know. There's games that look very, very well, like really, really good. Like that Rams game, you got to give him kudos there. There has been some games, like obviously the game that we want to forget, in the Washington Commanders game, where I looked at the film and there was some misses. Now, like I said, you can throw the blame anywhere. You can throw it on the offensive line, you can throw it on Drew Petzing, you can throw it on Kyler for missing specific plays. But I think overall, I'm content with what we are because keep in mind we're 1-3. We're not 1-4. We're not 1-5. We're not 1-6. So with where we are right now, would I would rather be 2-2, of course. But I think right now Kyler has shown that he can do it. We just need to see it consistently. And I think that's the biggest thing that Cardinal fans that are very angry right now, that are just waiting and jumping out of the bushes and waiting for the opportunity to see just sort of some consistency with our franchise quarterback. So overall for me, I like it. I'd rather be 2-2, but 1-3 isn't bad as long as we can get it corrected for the future games. And it's still young. We still got 13 games left.
The season is still very young. There's a lot of football left to play. And I kind of agree. Like, there is a lot that you see on film with Kyler Murray, especially outside of the Commanders game. Let's take that game aside right now. We'll talk about that in just a second. But every other game, he's looked really well. Like, he's playing
Yeah.
within structure, within the pocket. And it's a lot of things that you see with Kyler, too, that make him special, like his ability to get out of the pocket, extend plays, pick up third and long situations, second and long. Like, Kyler Murray obviously able to do with his legs. I think the biggest thing that everybody wanted to see was Kyler Murray play within a structured offense and play in the pocket. And we've seen it, but there have been a couple misses in the past 2 games where it's like, okay, the flags are starting to get raised a little bit. And I understand it as a Kyler Murray activist because you're missing balls high,
Yeah.
right? Like, you're missing balls high and passes that should be completed. You're sitting in the pocket, and I mean, you're feeling the pressure, obviously, but got to play comfortable. Like, I understand there's plays that you cannot miss, and Kyler Murray's missed a few.
Yeah.
But I think you go back to games like the Buffalo Bills where people were kind of like, Kyler didn't play a fantastic game. He didn't get Marvin Harrison the ball. He was getting other people the ball, which always isn't going to happen. That Marvin Harrison, who in his first game is getting safety shaded high, which is just an insanely respectable coverage for a rookie. I don't know how many times that's happened in the league, but like getting shaded over to in your first game in the season is kind of ridiculous. But you're not always going to be able to get them the ball. And putting up 26 points, I think, is respectable. That is fantastic, especially Marvin Harrison Jr. has 1 catch for 4 yards. Week 2 against the Rams, blowout. Again, that's a game you can't really talk about because it was just a bloodbath. But I mean,
Yep.
Kyler Murray played well within structure, made plays out of the pocket, which we know Kyler Murray could do. That's where he excels. It's just we need to see more structured offense. And I mean, he's played within the pocket pretty comfortably this season, but there have been a couple plays in back-to-back games where the flags are kind of getting raised, and I
Yeah.
understand that, especially if it continues consistently throughout the whole year. And I think that's where the
Yeah.
problem lies.
Well,
It's way too early. I think there's one bad game that I've seen from Kyler Murray this season, and honestly, you could argue a bad 1.5 because that back end of the Lions game was pretty
fair.
bad too. How are you feeling about just the Lions like back end game to the Commanders blowout? Like, is this enough for you to kind of raise the flag again and get the conversation started? Or are you still, like you said, just content? Because me
I'm
personally, I'm content. Like, I'm cool with where we're at. Kyler's still the guy, and we have to wait till the season's over to even push that evaluation. But he's still the guy for me. Are you truly content, or are the flags up a little bit?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think a little flags are up when it comes down to obviously the franchise quarterback. Because to me, when you're paying a guy to the level that you are paying him, there is a level of expectations from me. As a specific fan, obviously I can't speak for a specific fan, but for me specifically, there is a level of I need to see you win those games that you're supposed to win. And we don't know what the Washington Commanders are. They're probably the best team in the NFC East for all we know, right? we as a fan base probably saw that game and we were like, this is the best chance we have to get a win. And that did not work out for us at all. And it maybe might have hurt a little bit more because Cliff Kingsbury came back to State Farm Stadium.
Oh
And
yeah.
maybe wasn't on top of that another gut punch that we got because of Cliff being a former head coach. So maybe we are a little bit more in our feels and maybe looking too much into this game. But I think the most important thing here for obviously Kyler Murray in his year 6 is learning from what happened there, right? Like, not seeing another blowout game. Now, I get it. We got 13 games. Is there going to be another blowout? Maybe, right? But I mean, we don't want to see 3 or 4 blowout games this year because that is not the trending in the right direction, especially if you have a franchise quarterback, quote unquote franchise quarterback. You want to be able to have those wins that you beat in a dominant fashion. But I think this Arizona Cardinals organization needs to learn how to win those one score possession type of games, and we have not seen it consistently with Drew Petzing. Obviously we lost by what is it 6 points by the Bills, and we lost by
6 and 7.
7, right? But by the Lions. So like those are playoff teams, right? Those like the Lions are as advertised. So you can definitely take a lot of good things away from these losses in terms of like we only allowed 20 points and then we shut them out in the second half. Like, and then the Cardinals had offense had every opportunity to do so. So like it's so weird because we got really good flashes. I think right now we're all just kind of confused. Like honestly, I think we do not know what this roster, this organization can do. But one thing that I do know is that they need to get a lot of things corrected. And it starts off with their franchise quarterback. And I'm not saying he's doing a lot of things wrong. I'm just saying like it starts off with him playing good, right? We want to see a little bit more of that Rams type of Kyler Murray game because he was dynamite, man.
He
Like
was
that was
dealing
like
it.
a game that I'm like, whoa, like I didn't expect this. I didn't expect to blow out the Rams. So like it was really cool to see him coming out of the pocket, improvising, the connection with him and Kyler Murray, that beautiful throw in the back of the end zone, the that crossing route with Marvin Harrison Jr. deciding just instead of doing this, taking it up like that. It's just amazing. It was just an amazing play amongst a potential franchise quarterback and obviously wide receiver one for the future for the Cardinals. So a lot of optimism, but there is still a little bit of flags that I like to throw. But that's just me, though, man. That's just me.
Totally fair. And the thing that is getting thrown around, and something that I have seen as well, and kind of feel personally, is Drew Petzing. What are
Mm,
your overall thoughts? How much of the blame are you going to put on Drew Petzing these past couple games? And why? What's the percent ratio, Kyler, just offensively? Because defensively, I think
right.
complementary football plays a big factor into this, and we don't play
Absolutely.
that well. Like the Lions game, we couldn't stop them in the first half. Second half, shut them down completely to 0 points. The offense needed 10 to tie, couldn't do that. We put up 3 in garbage time. And then obviously the Commanders game is a Commanders game. That was
Right.
just, we're not
Ho-
going to
hopefully
fully
the
dive into
outlier.
that. Right. Hopefully that game was fluke, right? Like, I mean, we blew out the Rams.
Yeah.
We got blown out. We kind of got a taste of our own medicine. It hurts because it's our former head coach. But
True.
what's the blame ratio offensively? Where are you going with this? And it doesn't even have to just be Petzing Kyler. It could be
Like I think
receiver
everybody.
separation. It could be Drew Petzing. It could be just overall unit. Or do you not even want to point the finger? Like it's just a collective whole, which
No,
is very
I
fair too.
to be honest with you, yeah, I mean, I think that would be the easy way to go to as a collective whole. But I think it's the truth, though. I think that obviously the right tackle position, just being a swing, and the Jonah Williams signing, it's just unfortunate because I think a lot of us were excited about that. And he was playing pretty good to start the season. Unfortunately, he went down, and then we just had a carousel of right tackles. But I think it's a little bit of everything. I think it's the O line, Kyler Murray's decisions. The game plan of Drew Petzing, to me, what I would want to see as a Cardinal fan, and here's the thing, like I'm not asking for an implosion with these press conferences, right? But like the way that these guys talk, right? I'm talking about the coaching staff, not Kyler, the coaching staff. They're very car salesmen. They like to spin around. They like to answer the question, but don't answer the question. And it's fine and
Deflection
all.
at its finest.
Yeah, it's great and all when we're here, but I bet you anything that by the time we're getting into the middle of the season or the end of the season and it's still happening, and the biggest question is where the heck is Marvin Harrison Jr. in the second half, right? If we cannot figure out a specific way to resolve that big issue, because it's not just Marvin, it's the offense. Like, why isn't the offense clicking as well? Marvin is the name getting thrown all the time because he's the fourth overall pick, but like it's the offense in general. Why aren't we scoring points in the second half? It's a tribute to obviously the way that the game is being called, the way the ball is going on first down, second down, and third down. Whether the Cardinals decide to run the ball on third and short or decide to throw it. everything is so situational that like I do feel like everybody shares a some sort of blame. I know that if this continues to happen, maybe the first one to go down, it probably is going to be Drew Petzing because I feel like it's one of those things. It's like I don't know. I don't want to say disposable, but like if you're not going to get rid of a franchise quarterback midway through the season, and I'm not going to say that the Cardinals are going to get rid of Drew Petzing, but like midway through the season. But what I'm saying is that if you're going to pick one, you're probably going to pick your franchise quarterback. You're paying so much money
For
towards, but it's one of those things that I feel like everybody gets some sort of blame. I don't have a percentage or anything like that. I'm saying here's the pie. Y'all separate it, but most importantly, y'all have to fix it because I think that's the most important thing. Learn from it and fix what the heck's going on because it's an issue that we were having last year. We were having last year with Josh Dobbs and a little bit of with when Kyler Murray played. So
Totally fair. I haven't really been impressed with Drew Petzing this season. I'm not gonna lie. Like I really haven't been. It feels like that first drive, the schemed in drive that everybody kind of pre-plans for, the premeditated drive. Like, okay, we know this is gonna work. This is where they struggle. This is probably what they're gonna run coverage wise or whatever. I don't know if the Cardinals haven't scored on a first drive, on an opening
yeah,
drive. I think we scored a touchdown or a field goal on every single one, and it might be touchdown. So I just don't understand how it goes from domination to just complete decline so fast. And
yeah,
obviously, the defense not being able to stop anybody doesn't help.
doesn't
Like,
help.
if you don't score 3 touchdowns off the rip, it feels like you're going to lose the game. Like, that never helps. But it just feels like something that's schemed and premeditated, working so well. But as soon as you have to freestyle, it kind of just takes that massive hit. That feels like a problem to me. It really does. And obviously, Kyler Murray does play a factor into that, which is why we're even talking about this. But, like, how do you even clean that up? Like, is it just like, it feels like we abandon what works to a lot of the
Yeah,
time. But
it,
it just
it's
I don't understand how you can be so dominant and then just take that hit. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I think you can look at every single game that we've played so far and have a different answer. Like honestly, like
Yeah,
that's how like vague this question is. Now that's the I guess that's the beautiful part that like we don't get paid for obviously trying to resolve this issue, but we're also the ones criticizing the people that say why aren't you
right.
fixing it? Because it is an issue. It's an issue because this offense coming into the 2024 season was supposed to be the bright spot, right? I think we both even mentioned that coming into the season that this defense, you cannot depend on this defense to try to stop anybody, right? Or you can't depend on them to try to win you a game. Can they cause an interception? Can they cause a fumble? Can they do a crucial play 1 or 2 or 3 times in the game that you're like, okay, that's what we needed? Yes, they can. But in order for them to, you're not going to expect them to hold somebody down to like 10 points, except for the Rams. That was crazy. But you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to expect that from this defense. You expect this offense to stay on the field, give them rest, give them confidence that we're scoring points on the board. And what we seen in that fourth quarter was the complete opposite. Like what they did in the Commanders is what I was hoping the Cardinals were going to be able to do. Now, it was so weird because like we usually do really well when James Conner is cooking. Like when he's cooking, we usually are a really good offense. But like because we were down and they kept scoring and scoring and scoring,
I'd have to
it
abandon it.
yeah, had to abandon it, and then Kyler Murray had to, improvise in some things, and I think you're right. Like that one drive in the first quarter, it's so crazy how fluent, how great we look, how amazing we look. You're like, man, this offense is cooking. But then after that, it just falls apart. I think that game planning is bigger. Like it's a big issue, absolutely. And of course, if the Cardinals drop to 1-4 or potentially 1-5, because we got another two potential playoff teams coming our way, um, i- i- Drew Petzing is going to be the one that's going to get the fire lit real quick because you cannot say that you're that efficient in the first drive and then just fall apart. Because, like I said, it's a trend, and they got to find a way to fix it. I don't have the answer. I don't have the solution. It's just I don't know. Convert your
The
third
I
downs.
Yeah, exactly. Convert the third downs, better play calling on
Yeah.
4th and 1. Like there's play calling that I hate. Like
Yeah.
I can't stand it against the Lions. I mean, it's 13-7, 4th and 1 at midfield, and we're punting the ball back to them to an
Yeah.
offense that we can't stop. I don't really care if it's 50 yards or 90 yards. They're probably going to score regardless. Like they've shown no signs of struggle. Montgomery was picking up 5 yards minimum and kind of just taking the whole defense for a ride.
Yeah,
So
so the game and the Commanders, the Cardinals had an opportunity, and when I was rewatching the film, and of course when you're watching film, they don't actually show you like the score or the time and what quarter you're in. But I think the Cardinals were not down by very much. It might have been a touchdown or maybe even 2 touchdowns. But like instead of the Cardinals taking a kick from Matt Prater, they decided to go with that fourth and short. And like it's just one of those things that like I get it, they're trying to come back, but I think you'll get more momentum of taking that those 3 points there as opposed to just not getting any points to begin with because the offense was clicking. They were moving down the field. So like obviously that's not all on Kyler. That's coaching decision. That's Jonathan Gannon. So it's a little bit on Jonathan Gannon too. And he
100%.
yeah, he's got to fix it.
Yeah, the flags are definitely being raised. Like, I don't really
Yeah.
understand what's going on. Like, it felt like in Detroit, we were just targeting Terry and Arnold over and
Mm,
over and over, and we are
yep.
just taking continuous deep shot. And it's like, can we just get like a nice short methodical drive? Like, the defense just got you three stops back to back to back, and we're just doing absolutely nothing with it. And
Yeah.
it's like, it felt like that the whole game. Like, it just felt like the game wasn't over. And then the offense comes out and it's 3-and-out, and you're just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, we're just chucking the ball 40 yards. It's like Madden. Like, you just hand the sticks to somebody brand new and they don't know what they're doing. They're just throwing lob pass down the field, like, oh yeah, Hail Mary, right?
Yeah.
Just streak them. And that's literally what it felt like we were doing. And then the Commanders, it just felt like schematically everything just went out the window,
It
right?
did.
Like, the run game got abandoned. Schematically, everything just kind of went to SHI. Like, it just didn't go well.
Well, because you
So
blinked and the Cardinals were down so bad. Like it's
that's what
just
I'm saying.
nuts.
The defense doesn't help. There's no complimentary football, especially in these past two games. And I feel like the Lions game hurt a little more than this one because this one just like it's I'm kind of numb to it. I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
fair.
Like, I mean, I'm sure Rams fans felt the same way when
Yeah.
they got blown out. Like, it's just like, okay, well, that happened. Let's move on to the next one. They got a bounce back win against San Fran.
Yeah.
Cardinals are in a very similar position. Just got the beat down, have the 49ers. The 49ers did not click very well in the beginning of the season. Brock
True.
Purdy didn't look good. Brandon Ayuk, you could clearly tell, was missing time, needed those training camp reps, and he didn't have it. Here we are in week 5. Kyler Murray is under heavy duress once again. How crucial do you think this is, not only for the season, but for Kyler Murray as a quarterback? I don't think he's going anywhere this season. I think that is obviously you're not able to move that salary unless someone's willing to accept all of that dead money and you can free yourself of that and get capital back, which isn't going to happen. Kyler Murray is a quarterback for the remainder of the season.
Season.
How important is this game right here, not only for the season, but for Kyler Murray's career?
It's very important. It is. It's because it's a big difference between what 1 and 4 and 2 and 3 because the 2 and 3 gives you a little chance to breathe a little bit to say, okay, you got that win, right? You got that a second divisional game under your belt, which is huge. Obviously, at the end of the year is going to be very huge. So like. It's a big game. Kyler Murray needs to come out here and play very, very similar to not obviously we don't expect exactly what we saw in the Rams game because the Rams are in a completely different circumstance than the 49ers, although they did deal with injuries as well. But I think it's a big game. I do. I think it's a big game for Kyler, the big game for the fan base, the organization as well to know where you're at. And I do agree with you with the whole I don't think there's any way that the Cardinals are going to move off of Kyler like this year. I think the plan is to let's play this year out. Let's see what happens, and then we'll make our decisions afterwards. But it's all about confidence too. I know Jonathan Gannon came out and says he doesn't believe in momentum, but I call BS on that. Like momentum is
100%.
important. Yeah, it's huge. It's one of those things where you actually alluded to this, and you're right. The home court advantage, field advantage here for the Cardinals here in State Farm Stadium. Obviously, we don't show up
Commander Stadium now,
yeah,
apparently.
exactly. But you know what I mean? Home field advantage is very important, and momentum coming into just coming off a Monday Night Football, win like the Commanders did. It's very important to come in here and say, hey, man, we're better than most people think, and I think we just probably, I don't know. It's so tough because I don't think the Cardinals underestimated this Commanders team, but I also don't think we were fully prepared to not you know, put that many points up. We weren't prepared to put that many points up, that's for sure. But going back to Kyler Murray, I think it's an important one. I do. I think it's very, very important for his confidence. I'm not sure if you saw the post game from the beatdown, but man, this man looked defeated. He looked as sad as I've ever seen anybody be sad before. And I get it. Like, a beatdown is it's never a good thing, right? But man, I've never seen anything like that in a while.
Yeah.
So
I
um
mean, you have expectations coming into this year, and it just kind of they're falling flat on their face, right? You're playing
yeah,
two teams insanely close, and you know you're right there, and then you just come out in week 4, and it's just like a bloodbath. Like, you
yeah,
never want to see that. Like, in 2 games you're so close to beating Buffalo,
yep,
to beating Detroit, and you know how good those teams are.
yeah,
I didn't think Buffalo was going to be this good. I really didn't. But now on paper, Josh Allen's him. I had him ranked the second best quarterback in the league, and
oh yeah.
honestly, this season he might be one or two. Sam Darnold is up there too for some
Right?
reason. I mean,
NFL's nuts, dude. No, I don't blame you for
the
saying
NFL's
that.
not. Sam Darnold might be the MVP right now. If we're talking 4 weeks into the season, it might be Darnold.
It's
Vikings are
crazy.
undefeated, just beat Green Bay 2 by 2 points. So it's very unpredictable. But I think this is such a monumental game for Kyler, and not only that, but his career. And the reason I'm even saying that is because the fan base is already so teeter tottery on Kyler Murray right now as it
Yep,
stands. If they drop another one, especially it just depends on the fashion, I guess. Like,
that's fair.
obviously I don't want to celebrate moral victories, but if we can play the 49ers close and lose, or win on the flip side, which is what we're all hoping for, and that's kind of what we need for the season, I think it'll be a lot better. But if we lose by 10, 13 plus points, I think we're talking about this in a completely different light, and people are going to start slandering Kyler even more. And I
Yeah.
mean, it's got to be tough to play quarterback for a team where it feels like you're not backed. It literally feels
Yeah.
like you're not backed. The home crowd doesn't come out to support you. And obviously, I'm not in attendance either. But like, if I can make content at State Farm Stadium and like make it right there, boom, boom,
Right.
I'd probably go to a lot more games.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it how it is. But it's tough. Like, it really is, because it feels like there's no support for Kyler Murray, or at least it's so 50-50. Like, I couldn't even imagine, like, okay, this fan base doesn't not only back me, but like, you play every game as a road game.
Yeah.
And
That's what it
like, I
feels
know
like.
the road stats kind of back, like, oh, the Cardinals basically never win at home. Like, I completely understand that. We don't
Right.
have a ton of home wins the past 3 years, but it doesn't really feel like a home game every time you see
Yeah.
it. Like, I understand if you're getting overtaken by San Francisco, because I mean, look at what they did to the Rams a couple weeks ago. I mean, SoFi Stadium was dominated by red.
Yeah.
I get it. They travel well. Green Bay, they travel well. Detroit, I could understand that too. They're passionate. They travel well. Like, there's teams that travel insanely well. But the Commanders, out of every team to
Yeah.
fill your stadium, is insane to me.
Yeah.
It's insane. There's no support for this team. And I
There
mean,
there's a lot of excitement
I
for
don't
that
know.
rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, man. He's doing things that, everybody can only dream of seeing,
Right?
and we've talked about this a little earlier with, CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud didn't start off this hot, and that's the thing. Maybe he might dwindle down, and maybe he might come back to earth. We don't know, but right now, while we're recording this, we haven't seen anything like Jaden Daniels come out in a very, very long time. So, like, obviously, you gotta give kudos to where kudos is due, and like I said, we might be dealing with the best team in the NFC East. So, like, maybe at the end of the year, this might not look like a bad loss, but right now, it's a gut punch because of Cliff, because of everything. Did you see that post game from Cliff Kingsbury and how excited
Him
they
getting
were
the
for
game
him? And
ball and how
yep,
excited they were. That's what I was saying too.
yeah,
I was literally saying that this game means so much for Kyler,
yeah,
and this game means so much for Cliff. And people
yep,
were downplaying it, like, oh, they have a good relationship. Blah, 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 blah. They were fine. And I was like, I promise you, it goes a lot deeper than you think.
yeah,
Cliff Kingsbury
absolutely,
got fired. As a
yeah,
man, your pride is going to hurt. Your ego is
yeah,
going to hurt. You go back to a team that fired you, you're going to want that win under your belt. And the
absolutely.
way he got it, that is such a feel good win. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If the Cardinals win this, it's like, hey, we made the right decision. This is our head coach of the future. This is where we're going with this. You're not going to be able to tell me anything,
Right,
right? It's just it is what it is.
yeah. Absolutely. 100% agree. 100% agree. Like I said, like you said a little earlier, I ideal it, we hopefully we win, but I don't think anybody's got confidence in this matchup. I'm not sure if you do, but I'm just expecting to hopefully not get blown out. Like, I'm being honest.
That's what I'm thinking, because the 49ers defense kind of just curb stomped the Patriots. I mean, they had a
Yeah.
pick six, multiple sacks.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where the optimism level is. I think Kyler Murray has to play elite level quarterback this game to even give us a chance. And this is what
Yeah.
I've been saying. Do you feel the same way, that if Kyler Murray doesn't play legitimate top five quarterback football, we're gonna lose?
Yeah, I mean, even top 10. I think Kyler Murray just needs to play good. What we've seen in the Commanders game, and like I said, it's not all on him. And I want to be very specific because I know there's a portion of Kyler Murray fans that love to come to aid. And I'm not saying it's all on him, but like, it's a part of the he is part of the problem, right? A little bit. If you even want to say a little bit, even if you say 10, 15, there is a problem, part of the problem. Sorry. Whether it's the reads, whether it's not audibling or getting these third downs converted. You could also blame the drops. Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson has had some crazy
Fumbling the
drops.
ball.
Yeah, and then the unconnection of Marvin in the beginning. Now it's starting to kind of get together, but he is a little bit of a problem. And I know people do not want to admit it, but if you really look at it, take the emotional out of it. Like if you want to fix it, you got to acknowledge it, and that is acknowledging that you just need to be better. Be better,
Yeah.
and you can take us, man. You can take us somewhere. I still have faith. We got 13 games. Come on, let's not get destroyed. That's all I'm hoping for.
That's the hope right here. Kyler Murray knows it. He has to be better. He said it countless times
Mm.
against Washington in the press game. He said he has to be better. Do you think the Cardinals are going to beat the 49ers? What's your score prediction? Then we'll wrap this thing up right here.
Ah, man. I've no, I don't. I really don't. I think the Cardinals are gonna lose. I'm gonna make a closer game just because I can't I can't feel another beatdown, but I'm just gonna make it close. I'm gonna say 31-24. I
Wow.
say 49ers win.
I think that is the exact score prediction I gave in my video. 34
Really?
or
No way?
31-24 49ers. Yeah.
Oh, snap.
So, I mean, that's what I'm going to rock with too. I don't think I'm going to teeter off that. I think I'm going to say, like, it is a very optimistic guess by me. And you said the same thing. I want to make this closer than I think it's going to be
Yeah.
because I just want to be in the game, right?
Yeah.
Like I really do. I think San Fran wins this one, but I think Kyler Murray is going to step up. I think he has to step up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to see a very brutal game where
Yeah.
the 49ers and Jordan Mason, who is dominating with outside runs, dominating with toss plays, and this 49ers offensive line is stepping up. Like it's hard to see like a world where the Cardinals, who are dead last in run stop win rate, 31st in pass rush win rate, like this is a team that literally generates no pressure and can't stop the run. It feels like every time the ball is ran, it is 5 yards minimum. Jordan Mason on the season is averaging 5 yards a carry.
Oof.
There's no optimism for me defensively where I'm like, we're going to get stops on this team.
Yeah.
Like, I really have no optimism. I think Jordan Mason's going to have a field day, and the 49ers are going to just kind of dominate on offense. I mean, you never know. I mean, the NFL is very wishy-washy. The
Yeah.
Rams got blown out and then beat the 49ers. So are we in a world where the Cardinals can do the same? I mean, anything is possible. Do
Any
I
given
see that
Sunday.
happening based on the exactly? But do I see that happening? Absolutely not. But I think Kyler Murray has to play an elite level game. I think Kyler Murray has to be better for the season. The flags are definitely up, but I'm still backing him as a franchise quarterback. And like you said, I mean, you're content where we're at right now, where Kyler Murray's at, but he has to be better. But with
But it
that being,
is sorry, week to week though,
no, you're
like
good.
anything can change. Next
It
week to
can.
yeah, week to week league. So yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
No, you're all good. I mean, week to week league, anything is possible. The Cardinals need this win. But with that being said, that is going to wrap up today's video. Let me know down in the comment section below if Kyler's still your franchise quarterback, what you guys think the plan is, or if you think Kyler Murray has to play an elite level game for the Cardinals to win. But like I said, that is going to wrap up today's video. If you guys are new to the channel and ended up enjoying today's video, consider hitting that subscribe button. I post Arizona Cardinals and NFL related content. So if you're a fan of either of those, this is the perfect channel for you. Mike, appreciate you hopping on. Where
Absolutely.
can they find you?
Just search up anything AZ Sports Fan. You'll be able to find Instagram, X/Twitter, YouTube's gonna be where the main podcast is gonna be where I mainly have the following at. So
Go check him out. He posts Arizona Cardinals content as well. So if you want great content, go ahead and check him out. But
appreciate
with
it.
that being said, that is going to wrap up today's video. It's been your boy, Mythic and Mike. Peace out.
Go Cards.